Derrick Rose, Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater, Tracy McGrady. What do all these names have in common? Such great potential to become the biggest star in their craft, just to never be the same. Welcome back, y'all, to another edition of Down and Dirty. As you can see, I got a new mic. Hopefully that sound good, you know, ASMR. Let me touch you. What? Today we talk about a manhwa that many people are familiar with in this niche. No matter the view, it is always considered one of the most widely known, Secret Class. Now, Secret Class follows the story of our protagonist, Daeho, a 20-year-old young man who was unfortunately orphaned at a young age due to his parents dying in a car accident. Thankfully, his father's friends were kind enough to adopt him into their home of 4. In this household, he has 2 new sisters, with the first being Cha Mia, a 23-year-old college student and eldest daughter of the house. Despite her intimidating demeanor, she cares for Daeho more than most in the house, and he seems to reciprocate the feeling, holding her in high regard. The next sister is Suwa, the middle child of the siblings at 21 years old. Despite cheerful siblings, Suwa likes to keep to herself and typically stays in her room with the lights off and reading her books. I know what I do in my room after some light reading in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. Even after 7 years, she hasn't really opened up to Daeho, so their relationship is always pretty rocky. Then we have the head of the household, Cha Young-gu, the man who took Daeho in once his family had passed. You don't really need to give a crap about this guy, just know that he lives here. Not even to be honest, he goes on business trips like every other week. And we can all guess what happens on those. And now we have quite literally the most important person in this manhwa. The cream of the crop. Cream of the crop. The queen of queens. One of the OG MILFs herself. Jung Une. The mother of the household and aunt of Daeho, who makes sure the house is clean and everyone is fed. Now I know for a fact that I'm walking out that house sure that I ate my 5-star meal. It is painfully easy to see where Suwa and Mia get their looks from, because I don't even know, like, Une is like 40 years old, serving harder than anyone that graces these chapters. Probably due to her early life in the countryside where she works in the field, she retains such a healthy figure and knows what belly-filling and nourishing food to serve her family. We will see much more of her as the story progresses. Speaking of the story, what exactly is going on? So this is where we kind of see the direction this manhwa is headed. To start things off, we get introduced to Daeho's best friend from school, Gobong. Gobong is weird, and honestly, just a sad character in general. He starts a conversation off by saying, "Have you ever seen a girl's underwear before?" Okay, simple perv convo, I guess. Not like it can get any worse. "This is my sister's underwear.
Ladies and gentlemen,
someone arrest this man." Like, you can tell that Gobong's bust is significantly smaller than most, but like, this is just insane. Bro had these drawers in his pocket for how long? What are those stains? I pray to God you drop those in some dirt, cause they look like they almost been there for a minute, man. I've talked about this too long. Let's move on. Daeho goes home and thinks about what Gobong gave him, but he tries not to let it poison his mind, so he goes down to get a drink. Ooh, yeah, he's poisoned for life. He can't go back. He's deep in it now. Daeho hears a noise and just so happens to peek in on his aunt and uncle going crazy in the bedroom. Might I say, Unc ain't doing nothing praiseworthy here. He may be skilled with the fingers, but that only gets you so far. Well, I mean, it does depend. Let me stop. Now, typically, when someone is in this situation, when they watch their mom, aunt, sister, girlfriend, etc. getting it done in front of your eyes, the natural reaction is to go in and get your get back. Seen it many times in manhwa, manga, comics, even in real life. However, Daeho is a different case. He's so new to this stuff, almost as if he's still a kid and he doesn't exactly know what to do. The moment he gets a stiffy with the icky he's like, what's going on? Due to that, he's been having several wet dreams cause he don't know how to let it fly. The fact that I'm talking about this is insane. However, you know what's even more insane? The fact that once Une is doing laundry and sees evidence of said wet dreams, she comes to the realization that someone should teach him about jerking the chicken, so that he don't gotta keep it leaving a mess in his undies. So this is what happens. Hold on to your hats. Une, being the caring mother figure that she is, takes it upon herself to be the one to help him with his rooster. Oh, this can only go one way, can't it? Stupidly, I repeat, very stupidly. Une thinks the proper way to teach Daeho is by taking off bro's pants, hoping he has thoughts of a girl he likes in his head. It's her, by the way. What's crazy is she thought about taking her clothes off first to help him with the stimulation. Well, Daeho's pants are off, and wowzers, he almost stacks up to yours truly. Wait, auntie, what is you doing? Auntie, what is you doing? She grabbing his Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Wouldn't it be better to tell him to do that part? Girl can't help herself. Daeho getting a little uncomfortable since he ain't got no cocoa butter to keep it smooth. So Auntie decides to, wait, Auntie. Auntie, what is he? What is he? Okay, now that I'm reading back on it, I'm actually wondering if Daeho's actions come soon are valid or not. Don't get me wrong, consent is everything. Absolutely everything. But if your mother figure who's teaching you about the birds and the bees ends up forcibly taking your pollen, I don't know if just sitting back and forgetting about it is realistically gonna happen. But now that the lesson is over, Auntie is content knowing Daeho can finally release it on his own. But that's the problem. He can't do it on his own because you didn't teach him to do it on his own. So now what everyone thinks is alone time, Daeho believes is a two-person job. So whenever Daeho feels the need to let his kid see the sun, guess who he's going to? I would say that this is a safe spot to lay the groundwork of what's to come, so fair warning, I'll get into some spoilers from here on out, just letting y'all know. From this point going forward, Daeho basically is going to Exotica. The way he feeling up everyone that crosses his path. His aunt, his sisters, his friends, someone's wife, and even his best friend's possible sweetheart. Let's be real, it was never gonna happen. Look at his face. But this is where I get to tell y'all something crazy. Daeho is actually the son of a very important man. I believe he was his uncle's boss, or at least superior. He was the president of the company, I know that much. The accident his parents were in was not an accident at all. In fact, it was just a way to get the big dog out the way so you can feed the strays. So now the dumb Daeho that we've known all this time suddenly becomes a mastermind who's planning to take revenge for his family. You can imagine the shock in the moment where I'm thinking, oh, it just got real. And for some time it did. Daeho was taking a businessman's wife in order to climb the ladder until he finds his answers and either gets rid of everyone involved with the murder of his parents or takes over the company. This manhwa went from a musty-filled orgy to a long-term drama. Till it didn't. Daeho just can't keep it in his pants, and instead of focusing on the goal, he decides to assault everyone until he's satisfied. Now I ain't read for a minute, but from what I know, it's literally just the same stuff as the beginning, and I have no interest. And now it's time for the regular, the positives, and the negatives. It's gonna be relatively short this time. Now positives. It's hot. Secret Class knows why people are coming to read it, and they deliver. The art and body designs for the characters are beautiful and don't disappoint. Nothing bad to say from an illustrative point of view. Next. I think that's all I got. Negatives. It's really brain dead, to be honest. You're going to read this because you just want to escape reality and watch a dude get his way no matter what. It had potential in storytelling, but it constantly backtracks and does what it's best at, and that's spice. Second negative. How does Daeho do it? This is a common trope in spicy manhwas that I absolutely hate. As long as they seem to enjoy it, you're free to do what you want, right? Wrong. Daeho will consistently assault every woman that pops up in the story and reassures them that they'll feel good even when they're against it. Sounds bad? It is. In the early game, he tried playing dumb, like, oh, my PB hurts when you massage it. It's getting bigger because of you. What should we do? But now he doesn't care. Now he's more like, yo, do a 360 for me. My biggest issue, and I know it's fiction, and you're not supposed to think too hard about it, but every person he does it with falls in love with him and can't leave his side. Okay, yeah, let's just love the assailant, right? Now here come the rankings. Same thing, it's gonna be relatively short, I'm sorry. First and foremost, I gotta say Solhee. Solhee is the wife of Mr. Park, Daeho's uncle's partner. Initially, this woman is literally just the worst. Stuck up and snobby who just can't show decency to anyone. Even when being fed delicious food by Une, she has the nerve to criticize her. She calls Daeho dumb and even states that his behavior is because he's an orphan. But I won't lie, she fine, and has a body rival in Une's. She soon discovers her masochistic kink when being with Daeho, so we ain't gotta worry about that attitude no more. Next on the list, I'm gonna say Yuhee, Gobung's older sister who had known Daeho since he became friends with her brother. I like Yuhee because she's the most normal person in the series. If it wasn't for Daeho's corruption, she would be someone I wish could bring Daeho back to reality and settle down. However, since she's seen Daeho in his new manly self, she can't help it and bows to his will. I won't lie though, for an innocent girl, she goes kinda crazy. I'm just like. Up next, I'm gonna give it to the younger sister of the two, Suwa. The moment you see Suwa, you know that she's gonna be the one everyone wants to see Daeho break. Ugh. She was a closet perv, but didn't want to admit it. But she saw Daeho doing his thing, as well as him coming on to her, and I guess the strong scent of an alpha male is too much for a young damsel. I will say, she is underrated. She's like the tsundere of the series, but she definitely had an amazing scene and that they were doing the astronomy thing. They were looking up at the stars, and at that tent, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was good. It was one of the softer moments of Daeho, but like, it was nice. Taking up the bronze medal, I got Juri. Mia's alcoholic friend who has had it out for Daeho since the moment she saw him. She didn't really need any push, as seeing what he was working with was enough to make her go full throttle. She doesn't care who's in her way, she'll do whatever it takes to just get a moment with Daeho. She's probably the most assertive, which is a plus, but at the same time, the way Daeho was, it almost felt kind of predatory. For a person outside of the family, she's definitely top tier. Alright. Here it comes, the silver and the gold. I always see people arguing about these two being the top dogs, but there can only be one. So second place goes to Mia. Arguably my favorite of the manhwa. The moment she walked in, it was like, oh yeah, she's gonna be special. And she was, despite her whole physical relationship with Daeho. I liked how even when she seemed like a mean girl, she was often pretty protective of her brother, albeit probably just because she wants him to herself. She keeps anyone who might get with him away and presses them if they get too close. She definitely has the best scenes in my opinion, and I think she has the best chemistry with our MC. No complaints. Something about that blonde hair though, I'm just saying, like, it just, she got that Yaru energy, man. Ah! Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The gold medal goes to Une, the poster girl of the series. Une activated my neurons and left me wanting so much more. Her first appearance just makes you want to scream, damn! A woman in her 40s looking like that is heaven for the eyes. The legs were slender, the hips wide, booty popping and chest thrusting. I wish her story was a little more gentle, but this is a spicy manhwa. What am I expecting? I don't blame her for cheating cause her husband be doing it every single week, even with her as a wife, which simply makes no sense to me. I hope she finds happiness even with a series like this because she definitely deserves it. Well y'all, that's all I gotta say about Secret Class. It gets a 4.5 out of 10 for me. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna bump it up. I think that was a little too harsh. I'm thinking too hard. I do it every single time. I'm gonna give it, it's in the 5.56 range for me. I won't say you shouldn't read it because obviously, if you're just horny, I won't steer you away from good sauce. However, there are many better ones out there that I think you should check out. In fact, if you have one that you want to try and see in this series, drop the name down below. We're gonna see it next. With that, I thank y'all for watching this video and I will see you in the next one. Love y'all. Take it easy.